Well, Melissa Hortman will always be remembered as a giant in Minnesota politics. She'll live forever in the memories of thousands of people whose lives she touched.
You can count among them our Corin Hoggart. He's the Capitol reporter, been there for years now, live at the Capitol for us tonight. Corin, there's a lot that made Representative Hortman special. Give us a sense for what made her a huge figure politically here in the state.
Yeah, a lot of the answers are right here in this memorial that's formed today. This is, flowers and flags and photos and messages that are mostly from folks that she worked alongside, especially here at the House of Representatives. And I kind of want to highlight one of them right here next to me. And it says, "Melissa, you made the tough call so your colleagues didn't have to." And that pretty much sums her up.
First reading, House Files 534 through 636.
There's no doubt she'll go down as the most consequential Speaker of the House, for sure, and her accomplishments are many.
Melissa Hortman's political rocket reached the stratosphere, but it almost never got off the ground.
She ran in 2000 and lost. She decided to run again in 2002, lost again in a very terrible year. In 2002. And
Paul Wellstone died in a plane crash that October, and Hortman thought about getting out of politics. But Ken Martin says Wellstone's words convinced her to jump back in, and the rest is history. She won in 2004, took office in 2005, and rose to minority leader and then speaker in 2019.
Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
Ryan Winkler served as her right hand for her first two terms as a top Democrat in the House and watched from the sidelines as she led in a trifecta.
I do think the legislative session of 2023 was hugely consequential, and it would not have happened without Melissa Hortman.
Winkler says she learned from a wishy-washy previous trifecta that they needed to pull the levers of power when they had a chance. They passed laws on abortion rights, a red flag gun control law, paid family leave, a child tax credit, legalized recreational marijuana, and more. In the tied House of 2025, Hortman took a step back in power, but avoided giving back almost anything, with one exception.
I agreed to a compromise on behalf of my caucus because more important to fund state governments.
The tears she shed Monday night over her vote to cut undocumented adults from MnCare were rare, but her sense of humor was frequently on display.
These were not my first choice for staying up all night clothes, but these might be the staying up all night clothes.
And she could turn bad jokes into slightly better ones, as she did after suggesting waterboarding for Budget Committee members who didn't finish on time this year.
There's nothing actually funny about torture. So I think that maybe the word I should have used is colonoscopy. So just proctological exam, I don't know, something uncomfortable and thorough.
Hortman was fiercely DFL, but earned the respect of her GOP counterparts, including the Speaker who assumed her office this year. The adversaries became a negotiating team in Hortman's final days, and when they finished the job Monday night, I captured a glimpse of what none of us suspected would be their last conversation.
I was headed out, and she was standing right by the chamber, and I started to walk, and I literally walked past her. I was like, sorry, but media can wait. And I came back, and I just said, we got it done.
And I want to quickly talk about Melissa Hortman away from here. She loved baking and cross-country skiing and gardening and spending a lot of time with her family as soon as all the work here was done. She also trained service dogs, and in 2021, she got Gilbert from helping Paws, and Gilbert's all over the photos here, except that she didn't really seem to want to train him much. She wanted to spoil him, and she eventually announced that she had failed and she wanted to keep him as a pet. And her friends tell me she'd be extremely upset to know the gunman also killed Gilbert. Now, friends and family are scheduling funeral services, but at this point, nothing's been finalized. Live at the Capitol, Corin Hoggart, Fox 9.